Hey guys, your Tech Admin here, and tonight I was digging around in some boxes of old hardware I had, and I realized I had enough components to actually build a working PC. And this is kind of the result here. I know it's a bit of a mess, and it's not really recommended to run hardware on top of wooden crates, especially with metal bands around the outside of it, but this isn't really hardware I care about, so I just kind of slapped it together. So right here, the motherboard is actually a motherboard from an HP PC, dated from around '99, and there's actually an old Creative ISA sound card in here that I dug up, and it is working. And aside from that, I'm using the onboard video. It's got a 500 megahertz AMD K6, I believe, processor, or is it K2? I have to look, but it's an AMD processor, 256 megs of RAM, 228 meg chips. Just a crappy power supply I had. A Mitsumi floppy drive that I just kind of added for fun because I had it. Below that is the primary hard drive, which is a Seagate ST34323A. It's a 4 gig drive, or 4.3 actually. And then below that, which is really neat, I can't really move the system drive here because it's actually running right now, but it's a, you can kind of see the label poking out there. It's a Quantum Bigfoot CY, and it's a 2 gig drive. This drive is pretty old. It dates from around Windows 95 era, and back then these drives were really expensive. This is a 5 1/4 inch drive, so it's the same size as a CD-ROM drive. As you can see below, there is a CD-ROM drive. You can see they're the same exact size. So these were huge drives, and they were massively expensive because back then they just had, because they were so big, they had just unheard of amounts of storage, really. Well, I wouldn't say unheard of, but they had a lot of storage compared to drives from that era, and they were really expensive, is what I've read. So this thing's really neat, and I'm going to have a separate video on it later. It sounds awesome when it's spinning up too. And below that's just the CD-ROM drive that I believe actually came with the HP PC. So that's kind of the setup I'm running here. And here's the power button and the indicators that actually came in that PC. The case is long gone. It was in terrible condition. When I got the hardware, I stripped everything out of the case and just chunked the case. But yeah, I just decided to put together a PC once I realized I had all the components I really needed. So it's pretty cool. And it's actually running Puppy Linux because that's all I really had. And I'm installing it to the hard drive now. Let's see. Install update grub. I was digging around on that Quantum Bigfoot and kind of searching through the files, and it has a Windows installation on it. I was trying to figure out which version it was, and what do you know? I found this this folder, the media folder, which has the Microsoft Sound.wave, and believe it or not, let's see, what's it saying? We will reinstall grub because I don't know which version of grub's on that hard drive. Okay. Anyway, believe it or not, I found that file, and I'm gonna play it real quick. And once I play it, you'll see, or you'll immediately know which version of Windows it was. So here we go. Yep, it was a Windows 95 installation. That sound brings back really bad memories, actually, of first using computers in school, in my elementary school, and them scaring the crap out of me, to be honest. I was so scared I was going to break them. Where do you want the grub files to go? SD1, that's fine. I'm sure this would run Windows 95 probably pretty awesome, probably even 98. I just didn't have time to go through the whole install process for that. So I just popped in an old Puppy Linux CD that I had. It's version 4.3.1. Puppy Linux is really awesome. If you've never tried it, it works really well in old hardware, and it's fun to play with, and it's rock solid for what it is. And the cool thing about it is when it loads, if there's enough RAM there, it'll load everything it can into memory. So that means once it's done booting, you can literally take the boot CD out and do away with it because it's all running in RAM, which makes it also really quick on old hardware. So that's pretty cool. So if you haven't checked out Puppy Linux and you have some old hardware laying around, I would definitely recommend trying it. It takes some getting used to the interface, but once you get it down, it's really nice to use. And it just says leave box empty, so I'm going to leave the box empty. See, I'm in the middle of installing this to the hard drive. I don't know if I mentioned that. Not the Quantum, but the Seagate. I don't want to ruin what's on the Quantum because I want to actually go through most of it later. Let's see what I can find. Okay. See. What does that say? You already run grub config, go to boot folder, install an HD, click the yes button to return to the grub. Okay, yes. Oop, wrong way. And we are done installing grub, so we should be able to boot this off the hard drive now. Finished. Let's see, what's it gonna do? I think it's done. Guess we'll find out here in a moment. So let's go ahead and reboot it. And when it reboots, you'll see the HP logo come up. It's actually running a Phoenix BIOS, which is almost identical to the Phoenix BIOS in my Dimension 4600 hiding over there in the corner. It's crazy how similar they are. Here we go. You should see the HP logo here in a minute. There it is. HP, expanding possibilities. I don't think they use that tagline anymore. Or do they? I don't know. I don't keep up with HP. There we go. Booting. Grub's loading. Linux on. It's actually picking up Windows 95 on that other hard drive. Or at least DOS. Huh. I kind of want to try to boot it and see what it does. Let's see. Starting up. If this boots, that's going to be crazy because that installation was on completely different hardware from what this is on. I have a feeling it's going to get about halfway through and fail. So we'll see. Sure is taking its time. Huh. Well, I think I'll pause the video and come back if it does anything. If it doesn't, then I'll just boot into Puppy Linux and show a bit of it. So, hold tight. Well, I waited a good 10 minutes and it never booted DOS or Windows 95 or whatever it was trying to boot. And then after that I tried to boot Linux and it refused to boot, and I think it's because the Seagate drive here is failing. I was getting some weird clicks and grinding noises from it, so I'm pretty sure it's at the end of its life. So Linux won't boot and DOS won't boot, kind of like I figured, because like I said, that was installed on completely separate hardware, so I didn't expect much there. But aside from that, this little time waster project I slapped together was actually kind of fun. If I wanted to, I could probably boot back into Puppy Linux off the CD and get it installed on a separate or a different hard drive because I have so many laying around. But I think I'm just going to call it quits and do a separate video for this quantum Bigfoot, which is really awesome. This thing's neat, and it really deserves a video of its own, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, bye-bye.